This is Steve Robbins. Welcome to the Get It Done Guys quick and dirty tips to work less and do more. There are only 3 roles that you can play in life: superhero, supervillain, and minion. And for some reason that I don't completely understand, minions always seem to work for the villain. You never hear about the hero's minions. We like to believe that we're the hero or the villain, but actually, most of us are minions. And as minions, we're the ones who get ordered around a lot. To be an effective minion and to survive long enough to become a true villain requires perfecting the art of being delegated to. Earlier in my career, when I was just a minion, my boss came in and he gave me a scathing look. I didn't take it personally. Evil villains have to practice their scathing looks and their evil laughs. Those things don't come naturally, you know. He turned to me and he said, "Write a logistics plan for assembling an army of robotic androids to take over downtown Detroit. I want it on my desk pronto." The secret to being a good minion is realizing that just because you're low minion on the totem pole, you can still take charge of the process to make yourself and your boss successful. I rushed to my desk to block out time to work on the plan, and I didn't know when pronto was. He gave me the instructions on a Thursday. Was pronto later today? Was it Friday? Was it next Tuesday? When you're given a task to do, make sure you know exactly when it's due, both the date and the time. If your boss is planning to present the report to the Evil League of Evil at noon, and you think it's due at 5 p.m., there could be serious consequences. As you have the time frame discussion, make sure to ask if there are any important milestones that you should hit. For example, if your boss wants to approve an outline of the report before you fill in the details, agree on a time now. That way you'll be able to choose a time when your boss is in town and not off on a quest to secure the one ring whose evil powers you'll use to power your robotic androids. If you or your boss wants regular status check-ins, now is the time to agree. Personally, I like regular brief check-ins weekly. My first boss told me, the worst thing isn't when things screw up, that's just life. The worst thing is being surprised with no time to fix things. Regular check-ins, even just a 5-minute how's it going, give you a chance to head off problems before they happen. You can casually say, there was a shipping mix-up and we received a 55-gallon drum of zombie reanimation powder instead of the spare android parts. Do you think that we can trim the schedule somewhere else to make up the time? Rather than surprising your boss a month later by missing a deadline when you couldn't find a way to make up the time. In addition to time frame, you also want to make sure to clarify what your evil boss expects. If it's a logistics plan, do you just have to think everything through? Does it need to be written down? Does it need to be typed or formatted, duplicated? Is your boss expecting it in black and white, color, inked in the blood of a virgin superhero? These details matter. If possible, ask your boss for a sample of a past logistics plan that he considers or she considers exceptional. You can model yours after it and see for yourself if those stains are from superhero blood or if they're just ketchup stains from an overenthusiastic lunchtime excursion. My boss wanted a logistics plan that was color-coded in a 3-ring notebook so we could easily add and remove pages. Of course, I still didn't know what should be on those pages. I'd never seen a logistics plan. I wouldn't know a logistics plan if it bit me. I'd probably just think it was a weird spider bite. I was going to need help. If you're given a developmental assignment, that's one where you have to learn a new skill, have that discussion up front. Since you know the time frame, estimate whether you'll have time to learn what you need to learn quickly enough to be able to meet your master's demands. If not, ask what resources and training you can count on and what you'll have to do on your own. We're living in an age where most of the skills you need can be found online somewhere. If you want to develop a reputation as a real go-getter, learn to get up to speed on new topics yourself. As my insufferably competent intern MG once told me, "Stever, if I have to ask you how to do something, you'll just Google it. I can Google it just as easily and save you the trouble." His competence may make him insufferable, but he is worth his weight in gold as long as he makes my life so much easier. But my early career was pre-internet. My boss gleefully informed me that he was providing no extra resources to help me learn what a logistics plan was, so I was on my own. And no, there would be no extra time in the schedule for me to learn. He was assuming that I would hit the ground running. What could I do? I muddled through and I created a logistics plan for his android army to take over Detroit. Unfortunately, something went wrong. When I told the androids that proper execution matters, they kidnapped my boss and, well, it's too terrible to describe. I was left with a 55-gallon drum of zombie reanimation powder, a warehouse full of android parts, and a logistics plan that could easily be scaled up. The rest, as they say, is history. When you work for someone else, you need to learn to be delegated to. Consider it your responsibility to drive the process so that you can deliver what's needed when it's needed. Clarify the deliverable due dates, the major milestones, and the frequency of status check-ins. Get the specifications up front so you deliver the right thing, and if you can get an actual sample of the deliverable, even better. And if you will need a learning curve, agree on the time and resources that you'll need to learn what you need to learn to be able to fulfill your boss's desires. And then, in no time at all, you'll be making the leap from minion to evil super genius. Think of it as a simple exercise in logistics. This is Steve Robbins. You can find this episode's transcript at getitdone.quickanddirtytips.com. I help people develop the people and interpersonal skills to transform their careers. If you want to know more, visit steverrobbins.com. That's SteverRobbins.com. Work less, do more, and have a great life.